Days are a bit more regular now.
That's good. That's good.
Hmm.
Okay, so let's go in three,
Mhm.
2, 1. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Final Tackle podcast. This is interview episode 8. Roll the intro. All right, let's go. So I have with me, ready to do an interview, the former Eels and Roosters, and also played in the Super League, halfback Daniel Mortimer. Thank you for joining us here at the Final Tackle podcast, mate.
Good afternoon. How are we?
I'm good, thanks, mate. Yourself?
Yeah, not too bad, thanks.
That's good. So let's get stuck into it. Question 1. You made your debut in 09 for the Eels. What was that like for you, your family, and the week leading up to it?
Yeah, I was an awesome week. Yeah, I still remember it pretty fondly. I remember being on the field just thinking, that's it. I'm done. I can die happy.
Oh, wow.
Everything you sort of, your dream is to play NRL. And when I ran out in the field, and I remember just thinking during the game that, holy shit, this is it. And yeah, I can die happy. And anything after that was just a bonus.
Yeah,
Yeah,
nice.
so ticking that off was just a huge moment, and yeah, the lead up was good. Daniel Anderson actually told me the week before that I'd be making my debut.
Mm-hmm.
So the week before I warmed up as 18th man against the Rabbitohs.
Yep.
And I thought I was named in the extended squad. And I did all the media and stuff. He got all that out of the way. I was
Yeah,
18th man, didn't play, but knowing the week after that I'd make my debut, so I had a bit more time to sort of get myself ready and
and prep and all that?
yeah, get all the prep and sort of get my head around it. And then my debut was against the Sharks on a Saturday night at Parramatta Stadium, and
Oh, wow.
the
At
Sharks,
home as well.
yeah, home, but the Sharks had just lost 14 in a row,
Oh,
and
fucking hell.
they did us on the night, so it wasn't
Well,
the
I
best.
mean, they would have been hungry for the win, let's be honest.
Yeah, definitely. But I remember sitting in the sheds after, and it was a pretty somber change room, but I still couldn't wipe the smile off my face. So it was one of those
Yeah,
mixed emotions, but yeah, it was awesome.
nice. And question 2, how is retirement treating you, mate?
Yeah, good. Yeah, I'm during my career I did a teaching degree, so at the moment I'm a high school PE teacher,
Oh,
and
nice.
yeah, I'm enjoying it. There was there's things that I definitely miss about the game, the lifestyle, and the excitement, I guess, the adrenaline, but
Yeah, for sure.
there are things that I don't miss as well. It literally is an emotional roller coaster, and yeah, I was ready to jump off that roller coaster last year, and I've been content with my decision since.
That's good. That's good to hear.
Yeah.
Speaking of your family, you come from a family that is synonymous with the NRL. What was it like growing up around that and around your father and your uncles as well?
Yeah, it was funny. I get asked this question a lot. I mean, it's they were the Mortimer brothers and Peter, Steve, and Chris to everyone else, but to us, to myself and my brothers, they were just dad and uncles.
Yeah,
It was
and
sort
Uncle
of
Steve and all that sort of thing.
yeah. It was just sort of it was what we knew, so we didn't really know any different. But the older you get, the more I guess you realise and appreciate what they'd done,
Yep.
and the reputation they had as well. I mean, they were all sort of they were all three of them are held in high regard.
Yeah, of
So that's
course.
probably one thing that during my career that they'd done such a good job at keeping the Mortimer name at a certain level, having a certain reputation, and
Yep.
I definitely didn't want to do anything to destroy that.
Yeah,
Dad
to
always used,
tarnish it sort of thing.
Dad always used to tell me that it takes a lifetime to build a reputation and 3 seconds to destroy it. So
Yeah, for
that's something
sure.
that always kept with me. But yeah, I mean that's I was I guess being young, like I said, they were just dad and uncles. But yeah, the older you get, you start to appreciate what they'd achieved.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough.
Mm.
Question 4. Is there any reason or reasons you declined an offer from the Bulldogs? Was it because of the Mortimer name and you didn't want to potentially tarnish it, or?
No, not at all. It's funny. I get asked this question a bit too at the time. Look, I was a country boy that just moved to Sydney
Yeah.
for 2 years, and obviously I was always a doggies fan growing up. Crazy doggies fan with the family history there. But yeah, as soon as I signed with the Eels, that sort of stopped. I was Eels. I was sort of my own person, and
Yep.
you know I think a lot of people at the time thought there was this big, deep meaning into sort of whether I stayed or went or whatever. But it was just because I was at the Eels. I had some good friends there, and I just didn't see any reason to leave. And that was sort of the start and finish of it. I was comfortable there. Like I said, I was from the countryside.
Yeah.
I was sort of it took me a while to settle in. Regardless, I had a really good group of friends. And, Anthony Mitchell, he played, Jason Materi, Johnny Manor, Dom Nassau, a really good core group of friends who, at the time, the offers were pretty similar in terms of financial gains. So I was like, well, why do I need to leave? I'm sort of happy where I am. So,
Yeah,
if it's
exactly.
one of those things, if not broken, don't fix it. And we were just coming up for grand final. So
Yeah,
that was,
exactly.
that was, it was an awesome year that, but that was sort of the start and end of it. Just I was comfortable. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, nice. And speaking of that grand final, what was
Yeah.
it like playing for the Eels in what is possibly a fairy tale season for the team, going from what seemed to be bottom four chances to grand finalists?
Yeah, it was crazy. It was so surreal that year. I mean, I think like I said, I debuted
Mm-hmm.
round 12. We were 14th at the time. We won and lost a few games, and then I think with 10 games to go, we were 14th, and we had to win 9 of our last 10.
And you
And
did.
we weren't playing good footy, and everyone just wrote us off, including us, to be honest. And
Oh,
then
wow.
I think I think who we beat? Oh, we beat the Storm first, who we ended up playing the grand final. But we beat the Storm and
Mm-hmm.
got to be confident. And I think we just threw our normal structure and style out the window. We were just playing supporting. Like we had the likes of Floody Mateo and Chris Nini who could find offload, and we're just playing a whole different style, like a carefree style, and
Yep.
it just suited us so well. Myself and Jeff Robson were just sniffing around the ruck. The likes of Hainsey was playing unbelievably. I've never seen someone hit a patch of form like that, and
Yep.
yeah, it just clicked for some reason. And like I said, we won the next 9 games, which meant we were in the finals, and then managed to win our way through to a grand final. And it was just the most surreal year. It feels like a movie I've watched. It doesn't
I
feel
can
like it.
imagine, yeah.
I actually lived it. Yeah, so yeah,
Fuck.
it's cool.
That's awesome to hear. Um, Again, speaking of grand finals, you went on to win the 2013 grand final with the Roosters. What was that like for you? And were there any contrasts and emotions from losing the grand final with the Eels and then winning one with the Roosters?
Definitely. Massive contrast in emotions. Yeah, it's funny they say you have to lose one to win one, and
Yep.
when I got to the Roosters, they'd been in the grand final 3 years before, so most of that squad had lost one.
Mm-hmm.
I'd lost one. I'd lost one at the Eels. James Maloney had come across, who lost one at Warriors. So
Yep.
I think the only two boys who had won one were Sonny Bill with the Bulldogs and Anthony Minicello
Yeah.
early with the Roosters. So
Yeah, exactly.
we had a lot of boys there who had come off the lost grand final and were stinging to win one. And yeah, look, that year was just a buzz. It was it was obviously we had a very handy team, but
For sure.
yeah, you still everything has to go right and to win a grand final, and everything did. We had good luck with injuries. We had good luck with form. We lost a few games late in the season, which we probably needed, and then sort of hit the finals. We won all our finals games pretty comfortably, and then the grand final was close, but yeah, we ended up coming back in the second half and getting a win. And yeah, look, the Sheds in '09, yeah, it was one of those things. Even I talked about my debut, how I had a smile. Like it was still my first year.
Yeah.
It was a surreal year, so I was still
You were still smiles
um,
for days.
yeah, still like that was an awesome experience. It came to an end and we didn't win, but whereas I think as the years go by, you realise how rare they are, and I
Yeah.
think I was really fortunate in my first year to be able to go through that. I mean, there's been great players of our games who have played, they haven't played won a comp, let alone play grand finals. So
Yeah, exactly.
I was fortunate. Yeah, like obviously the Sheds after the Roosters game was just crazy
Ecstatic,
and
yeah.
something that I'll never forget ever.
Awesome. So we have two questions from a massive Roosters fan. A guy I
Yep.
went to school with. His name's Matt. I know you're listening, mate. So shout out to
Okay.
you.
Hey,
He
Matt.
he asks, how was the transition from NRL to Super League? And do you remember what the coach said to you and the lads at halftime during the 2013 grand final?
Yeah. I'll answer the 2013 one since we're on the topic.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, we were down at halftime. And Trent Robinson, he's just so calm and cool under pressure, and all he did was talk about our process, just trusting our process. He wasn't nervous. He was sort of, we down at half time, but he just said, stick to our game, stick to the process, and we'll come out on top. But yeah, the one thing I will remember about that grand final was before the game.
Yeah.
Trent was always really great at motivating, and giving really good speeches, and so everyone was sort of hanging out for his pre-grand final speech.
Yeah.
And we're all sitting in the hotel opposite the ground, waiting for this speech, and we're all sort of a bit nervous. And he walks in the room, and we're all sitting there ready to go, and he goes, "How you all feeling?" And we walked around, we're like, "Good." And he goes, "Let's go win a grand final," and just walked out. And then just that's it. We're all looking forward to this big speech, but
Yep.
that's all he said. And we walked over to the grand final. It was awesome because it sort of just made you feel like he doesn't need to say anything. He trusts us.
Yeah.
Like I said, the process, and he obviously just thought that he didn't need to say anything else. What everything was done, and sort of that gave us. It was sort of the less he said, the more we got out of it. Often, so that was something that I'll never forget.
Awesome.
That feeling of going, he's confident. He doesn't need to drum us anymore. Like, let's go do the job. Yeah. And we did. So that was a pretty cool memory that I'll have of Trent.
Awesome. And sorry, circling back to his other question,
how
was the transition from NRL to Super League for you?
Yeah, it's quite a transition. Same game, but it's not.
I watch the Super League as often as I can. There's so many different rules, or even little differences, like the play the ball, you don't have to touch with your foot, sort of thing.
Yeah, it's just a different style as well. I think that they are a lot more free flowing, and just even the stands, like. 1 week you're playing at St Helens on a beautiful pitch that could be in the NRL. The next week you're playing at Widnes on old rickety wooden stands with mud going up to your feet. Like, there's just such a vast range in the professionalism of it. And I think they are a bit behind the NRL in terms of that, but it's all part of the charm. You got fans, 10,000 fans that sound like 80,000 fans.
Oh, definitely.
And because they're smaller venues and they're old, they've just got this awesome tradition. I won't say it's better or worse. It's just so different. But yeah, I really enjoyed my time there, and it was some pretty different but fun memories.
Nice. What was the decision behind retiring what seems early in the modern era?
Yeah, the biggest thing for me was I had a few big injuries the last few years. My last year at the Titans, I had a hamstring reattachment, which set me out for 9 months.
Yep.
And that was a big injury to come back from. And after that, I went to the Sharks. I had 2 games at the Sharks before I went overseas. And I think I got 6 games in the Super League, and I ruptured my bicep. So I had to have a whole nother surgery on my bicep. And so I'd sort of lost a lot of speed out of my hamstring. I'd lost a lot of strength in my upper body from my bicep. And I had 2 MCLs, and I could sense my body was sort of struggling in terms of keeping up with a professional level. And it was sort of a big decision coming home from Super League late last year. What to do? Do I try to push a bit more out of my body, which I already thought was sort of failing me a bit? Or do I sort of make the call now and preserve my body for the long life ahead of me? So, look, I was sort of content with what I'd achieved in footy. That was probably the biggest decision, thinking, what more do I want to get out of footy? And apart from sort of maybe a little bit more money or that adrenaline fix or whatever, I was sort of thinking, maybe it is better to call it time and start with the new life. I've got a baby on the way. So
congratulations.
Cheers. Yeah, it's next week, I think it's due. So
wow.
It's all really about to change. But
definitely.
But yeah, sort of, set myself in a new direction. And yeah, look, I miss, like I said, I miss certain things about the game, but I'm still content with my decision, and
that's good.
And proud of what I achieved while I was there.
And I'm sure Matt and a lot of other Roosters and Eels fans are also very proud of what you achieved for their clubs as well.
Yeah, it was a good time.
Obviously, you've covered if there's anything you miss or don't miss. What is your favourite memory of playing in the NRL? Was it the grand final win? Was it your debut? What was the ultimate number one memory?
Yeah, look, Memory-wise, probably like Michael Jennings' try in the grand final, that freakish try that off the
Oh,
grub that he pulled in, and
yeah,
I was on the
mate.
bench at the time, but just knowing that we'd had it, that was an awesome memory. But sort of the moment, probably my proudest moment.
Mm-hmm.
Stacey Jones was always my idol growing up.
Yes.
Little Auckland
Legendary.
Warriors half, yeah,
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 legendary halfback he was.
Hall of Famer now, yeah. But
Mm-hmm.
I loved watching him go up, and he retired from the NRL a year or two before I debuted. He
Yep.
went over to Super League, but 2009 he came back and had 1 year with the Warriors.
Yeah.
His sort of swan song, so I got to play against him once,
Yep.
and just actually lining up, looking at the big league, the lineup matchup, sort of myself and then Stacey Jones and the other team. I just remember thinking like, wow, that's would never have thought I would have got to play against.
Yeah.
And even though it was only once, got to play against the player that I'd always really looked up to. So
No,
that was a really proud moment, and just thinking like, yeah, it was quite surreal.
that definitely does sound like it.
Yeah.
Um, Last question before we get into try time trivia is
Yep.
what are your thoughts on the 2019 season so far as it comes to a close, and do you have a grand final match prediction, as in what two teams will be in it?
Yeah. Okay. Look, I've enjoyed it. I've watched probably more footy this year than I have. I didn't watch too much when I was playing because
Yeah.
it would sort of I didn't want to overload my brain with thinking about footy. But
Yep. Yep.
look, I've enjoyed it. There's some issues in the game that they need to address. I think in terms of I think there's some massive inconsistencies in terms of reffing and
Yep.
bunker and all that stuff that
Yeah.
I
Agreed.
just I just think they need to leave the game alone. The game is the best thing about the product is the best thing we've got.
Yes,
I
for
think they
sure.
need to focus on marketing the stuff around the game rather than trying to change the actual rules or running the game. That's probably the biggest issue. It seems they just it seems like they get bored and just want to start changing rules
Yeah.
or
Yep.
or judgments. But look, in saying that, I still love the game. I've enjoyed this year, especially. I think we're in for the best final series we've had in a while in terms of.
Agreed.
I think you obviously got your Roosters, Storm, and Rabbitohs who were always expected to be there, but
Yep.
then you got the likes of Manly, Raiders, and Eels who they're three really good challengers for the
Definitely.
title that are a bit roughies that could really challenge, and I don't think we've had that for a couple of final series. So
Nice.
I'm really looking forward to the pointy end of the season now. Actually,
And do you have a grand final match prediction, or do you think it's too early to say?
I'll predict one. I'm loving the way the Raiders are playing.
Yep. I think they'll be
Um,
there too.
yeah, I'd love to see them be there, and I'd love to see them be successful. And look, it's hard to go past the Roosters if they if
Mm-hmm.
they get it right. I really like the way Manly are playing too. So I'm going to go the two dark horses. I'm going to say Manly and Canberra grand final.
Honestly, that's a good prediction. My prediction is one of two scenarios. It'll either
Yeah,
be Raiders Roosters,
yep,
or it'll be Raiders Manly, like you said
yeah.
as well.
They would be my two as well. So I think we're on the same page
Yeah, definitely.
there.
So time for try time trivia. The way it
Okay.
works is there's 6 quick fire questions.
Yep.
A set of 6.
Uh,
And you've just got to answer as many as you possibly can correctly. The person at the moment who holds 6 from 6 is Mark Geyer. Then
okay.
we've got Jamie Soward on 5 out of 6, as well as
Yep.
Scott Sattler, etc.
All right.
And
See
I
how we go.
always end it on an easy question for the person. So
Okay.
let's go. Question 1: which club won the 2005 NRL Grand Final?
That would be the Tigers.
Yes. Question 2: which year did the Cowboys play in their first Grand Final?
That would be the same year.
Yes, it was. Well done. Question 3: what position did Sean Johnson play while he was at the Warriors?
He was halfback.
Yes. Question 4: who was the captain of the Broncos between 2006 and 2011?
Lockyer?
Yes. Question 5: what position is played by the jersey number 3 in rugby league?
Centre.
Yes. Question 6: which team won the JJ Giltinan Shield in 2013, 2014 and 2015?
The Roosters.
Yeah, mate. So that's 6 from 6. You're tied with
Really?
Mark Guy. I want to thank you very much for joining us here at the Final Tackle, and we'll be sure to get you on at the end of the season, after the grand final, to see how
Yep.
your predictions turned out and have a sort of a wrap-up sort of episode.
Too easy. Thanks for having me.
Thank you very much, mate. Have a good one.
See you later.
Thank you. Bye. So that was CJ interviewing Daniel Mortimer. I hope you all enjoyed, and be sure to tune in for more interviews and Hump Day happening episodes on Wednesdays to come. Thank you very much, everyone, for listening.